All right, everybody, welcome back. I'm here with James, Hippo, Hieronimus. I'm Thomas Gunn. We're bringing you the semifinals very shortly of the Common Ground Cup. Before we do that, we want to give a special shout out to our head judge for the event, Garrison Fote. They're super awesome. He's a great guy. We're going to shoot over to Cameron, and Cameron's going to have a quick little chat and give you guys maybe a little bit insight of the judging side of the event that we've had going on.
What's up, everybody? I'm joined by Garrison Fote. He is our head judge for this tournament today. I think you were judge all over the country. I was going to say, like, the judge for Tennessee, but kind of, like, everywhere. You were just in Atlanta, the Spotlight Series, correct?
Yep. I work for SCG Con Spotlight Series in Atlanta for the Command Zone. That's correct. And yeah, in Chicago coming up twice, coming up this next month. Vegas later this year, I'm sure. Just like, yeah, last year I traveled almost every weekend of the year, probably 35, 40 weekends out of the year on some sort of event.
Yeah, you're a traveling monster, because we'll call you a Tennessee native. You're in Cookeville area, so, like, a little east of Nashville, but still, I'll see you at Nashville, like weekly locals.
Yeah. I travel a lot on weekends, so like Wednesday nights tends to be like sort of my weekend with how my work schedule works out. So a lot of time Nashville, like Game Cave or some other place, will have like an event there that'll come out and just get to see local players and things like that, and get to actually play some Magic myself.
Yep, and I wouldn't really like call you like a Pauper player or anything. So like, how has your day been so far? Have you been enjoying the format? Like, any decks you think like, wow, that's super cool?
Yeah, the format's cool. Writhing Chrysalis is a heck of a Magic card. I have known that since MH3 Limited, but yeah, that card's really good. And then I've always been like a Tempo Mage at heart, so like a lot of just like the mono blue decks, the fairy decks, stuff like that, just like things that sort of keep your opponent on their back foot with your mana spending and stuff like that. Like, those decks sort of speak to my heart when I watch them play.
Ninjutsuing in, putting a Spellstutter spray back to your hand, it's a drug. It feels amazing.
It's like Kaido and Flood Pit Surrounders. Like that's what I've been doing since day one standard.
Yeah, this is just standard. Yeah. Is this standard?
Yeah, ninjutsu is pretty cool. I like that mechanic.
Yeah, very, very fun. Like, any judge interactions, anything interesting that came up that you normally wouldn't see in other formats, all been pretty standard, pretty chill. Because we got laid back players, some pretty cool players.
Right, a lot of laid back players. One of my favorite interactions, we had like a miss trigger earlier, where the fix for a miss trigger tends to be, most of the time, ask opponent, hey, would you like this player to get their trigger? And it was a good trigger for this player, and the player said, yeah, sure, I want my opponent to have that initiative trigger. I'm just like, oh, I'm not used to...
Wow.
I sort of like confer with him. I'm like, it's not normal to give your opponent a trigger that's good for them. He's like, yeah, that's fine. Like, I want them to have it. I'm like, okay, cool. So that was really cool. Always love to see players, like, you know, respecting each other and respecting the game that gets to be played. Yeah.
And the people that really come out for these tournaments are here for the format, and we love that. The vibes are usually great when people are here for the love of the format.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only other time I've had that is like Eternal Weekend with like diehard Legacy players as well. So it's sort of, you know, opposite ends of the spectrum in some ways.
Spirits,
but at the same time, people who love the format and want the game to be played for the sake of the game and not for the tournament results and things like that sometimes.
Well, awesome. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for judging this event. Always great. It's always a pleasure to have you on for judging.
Awesome.
We know things will get resolved correctly and greatly.
Cool. Thanks for having me out, Cameron.
Thank you. We'll ship it back to Thomas and Hippo.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cameron. And a huge thank you, of course, to Garrison for judging the event. Awesome. We'd love to see it. Cameron, if you can turn that microphone off for us, that would be awesome. Hell yeah. Thank you. Awesome. So we've got a top 4 bracket to show you. It's loading. Here we go. Enjoy my haphazard Canva work at the last minute. Here we go. So you saw on camera last round with James and Cameron, Karl Schroeder defeat Austin Walker at the 1 and 8 seed. We just found out Jonathan Turner took down Jonathan Dacus in the Battle of the Jonathans with Jund Wildfires. Devin Northcutt defeating Dustin Sendejas, Blue Reterra versus Affinity, and moving on. And Michael Pfohl on Jund Broodscale, the upset. Over Balik McMinn on Kuldotha Red.
Indeed. So, I think the matchup we're going to have next on camera is going to be the Blue Red Terror and Broodscale matchup.
It is Devin versus Michael.
Yep.
So how do we feel here? We've got like some counterspell and removal interaction for the combo. We've also got a lot of late game grinding with Deadly Disputes and Writhing Chrysalises.
So I think this actually is going to be one of the grindier games we've seen today. I think this is going to be very tight on both player sides. I'm going to give the slight edge to Devin in the matchup. I think so, just based on feel, I guess, between of the 75. I think it's just really strong. I think his amount of removal spells into the deck is really good. Being able to counter even some of the protection from Pfohl is going to be really good with some like spell and like spell pierce and stuff like that is going to be really strong. Even post board, we've got stuff like. Actually, no, I'm sorry. There's nothing good post board here. Never mind, I lied.
Not really. I mean, if you're expecting Pfohl to bring in these red blasts, you could bring in a couple blue blasts or hydro blasts.
I don't think I want that.
No. Should be. Is it Michael and Devin?
Cool. Perfect.
Cool. Awesome. And sounds like we're gonna head right on down to the match here.
Perfect.
Beautiful. We've got our players ready to go. Now, again, another huge shout out to our director Kyle, just absolutely crushing it with these graphics and whatnot. Just absolutely crushing it on the other side of the table from us here. And
all my homies love Kyle.
All my homies love Kyle. Yeah, so we are getting started. We're gonna resolve some mulligans here.
And this is a matchup between two friends too. So.
It is, yes. And Michael will be on the play. Michael is your 2 seed. Devin is your 3 seed. 2 of the players who have done the best throughout this tournament.
Yeah, we've had both of them on camera today. They proved well on camera as well, both of them.
We got a beautiful shot of Devin's face here.
Oh, I don't know if we want to see that.
Brutal. Brutal.
I hope he goes back and watches this.
What do we think, Chad? Anyone in chat have any predictions? Are we talking out of our butts here? What are we doing here? All right. Another thing here is that Devin is playing 2 of these Murmuring Mystics in the main, which is different from waiting until the doors close, which is a little different from some of these other lists we've seen. I think Wub was also playing 2 Murmuring Mystics. Okay. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
The differences between are like the Behold the Multiverse and like the
2 Breath Weapon instead of 3,
and then like the Spell Pierce.
The Spell Pierce. That's right. There is a Spell Pierce.
That's really and then like the 1 Ash Barrens.
Hey, sometimes you got to cycle. Sometimes you need a land. All right, so we'll see. We got some notes from Kalikais that usually easy for Glee in their experience, but we'll see.
Oh my goodness, is that a Drew Carlson in the chat? That is a Drew Carlson in the chat.
Why aren't you here, Drew Carlson?
Yeah, what lame. Could she come play? You could have come win this trophy.
The one person I will put on blast. I think I've behaved myself very well today. I'll put Drew on blast.
Sure, we've all 3 done it, so it's fine.
Beautiful.
But it looks like Devin's gonna keep his hand. Looks like Pfohl has mulliganed to 6 here.
6, yes. We got a Colony Garden and a plant token. We are underway for our semifinal match here. Tap lands apiece. Michael's got an extra rectangle for his trouble, though. Fetch land and swing for 0.
Love
that.
It.
I've been known to attack for 0. Of course, my attack for 0 often turns into an attack for 10.
It does. I've seen you ornithopter people to death.
I have, yes. All right, we got a preordain here from Devin looking at a land, and I think that's a loose focus.
We also used to ornithopter people in this format, too.
It's true.
We had all the glitters.
Yes. That was very rarely an attack for 0, though.
Correct. Well, you attack for 0, get that ninja in there.
Yeah.
You played Mid-Circuit Hacker?
Yeah, that's right. The early versions, the blue-white, more aggressive versions. I was introduced to that deck, last summer. Or could be last summer? It's 23. Do we count 23 as last summer still? Probably not.
I don't know. Time is an illusion.
January is such an awkward time.
That has been my response for everything over the last couple weeks. Is time is an illusion.
Exactly. It looks like our players they're having a great time. They're having a great time here.
Yeah.
This is one of those matches I was telling the players earlier. I was talking with Michael just a minute ago, and this is one of those matches I do wish we kind of had a microphone at the table. As we see a duress from Michael.
Ooh, Devin's gonna fire off a brainstorm to hide his hand.
We have not seen this yet today.
That is a beautiful line. That's a legacy line right there. If I've ever seen one.
This is indeed. And Devin known to shuffle up some legacy every once in a while.
Oh yeah, he loves to play some legacy.
All right, so we're gonna protect a couple of cards here. And then show, we've got a land, terror. We got three lands.
Lose, focus, and a scred are really the options. Oh,
okay.
I think it's a spell. Is that spell? Oh, it's an Ash Barrens.
Yeah, just Ash Barrens. So 4 lands, terror, scred, lose focus.
So he's probably going to take, I imagine he takes scred here. It's just the most mana efficient card here.
You just take the removal spell.
Yeah.
You can assume that Devin put his two favorite non-creature spells on top of the
Devin
library.
does, in fact, brainstorm in Legacy. He loves to some 4-color nonsense piles.
Sure. If he's not playing
If
lands.
he's not playing lands, that's his backup, is to play some,
accurate.
some nonsense.
I'm playing Revealed because he's a good guy.
Yeah, there's no reason not to.
No reason not to at this point.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to draw a card. We're going to keep it secret. Keep it secret from all of us. All right, looks like it's a Scred.
Yeah, we hide the second Scred.
Just get that Broodscale off the table.
Thank you,
Looks like
J-Ho,
there's
for coming out and playing with us today. It was great to see you, and thank you for the shout out.
Yeah, thank you so much, J.O. Looks like Michael's also working with a Sadistically in hand. Looks like we're gonna cycle this Ash Barrens.
Dispute away
Eviscerator's Insight while Devin is tapped
plant.
low.
on the plant.
This is one of these reasons to play these Colony Gardens in these decks. You sometimes just need some extra fodder to sacrifice away for your draw 2 spells.
So Devin kept that one Scred on the top of his deck, which was nice and smart, and so he can be able to shuffle away the other card that was on top as well.
Beautiful. I think I saw that it might have been a Breath Weapon.
Not the greatest
sure.
card here.
Right, but could also
do something.
scoop up. You know, you might want to keep it in your deck. Scoop up a bunch of tokens.
Love this. This is aggressive.
Slamming a Murmuring Mystic here.
Nice and aggressive.
Let's
love that.
see if Michael has the answer for it. Looks like we've got a couple of Sadisticallys.
got-
Just going to slam a
he's just
4-drop
slamming
of his
Chrysalis.
own. All right, 4-drop Haymakers abound. But Devin gets to untap with this Murmuring Mystic.
Yeah, he gets to untap with it. He really just wants to kind of just chain off some spells here. Want to be able to get around the Chrysalis.
We'll see if Devin's able
Starts
to
with
do
like a cantrip or something. That would be ideal from him, I think. He's gonna fire off a brainstorm. Yep,
All right,
there's
looks like he found-
there's the cantrip to start, and we get a token off of the Murmuring Mystic here.
Looks like all
found
lands.
there with no way to shuffle, so I think he has brainstorm locked himself.
That is a little unfortunate.
That is unfortunate, but I will admit that the lose focus is actually quite good here. It does make things make spells on the stack having to cost quite a bit.
This is true.
Yeah, he did brainstorm lock himself. That's not great. We don't love that. He does get to
And
play a
looks like-
terror
yeah, we
here
get
as
to-
well.
Get to run the terror out.
If Michael doesn't have a backup Chrysalis, this is pretty good into the Chrysalis.
I agree. I was just thinking if
I
there's a
wonder
Chrysalis.
if he. Okay. Ooh, that actually is able to deal with the terror as well in conjunction with the Writhing Chrysalis.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And give the creature neg
Get
one,
it.
neg one.
Yeah. You can also just double block.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. Double block, pick off a token with the gas death trigger.
That's probably better.
Yeah. So we'll see. So kind of both players kind of stonewalling the board here, and
Yeah.
this we may get to this spot where both players just kind of
I think
can grind
Pfohl's
the game
hand is
away.
like one, if not two, Sadisticallys, I think.
It's definitely 2 Sadisticallys
Okay.
at the very least. I think there's one other
don't know
card.
what
I
the
don't-
third card
I also
is.
don't. Looks like Devin is doing a little bit of he's doing some combat math, maybe doing a little bit of posturing. That's well within his range. He's gonna come in and attack. We're gonna get a
We're gonna
block.
make we're gonna Eviscerator's Insight this away.
Okay.
I like this, and just kill. I guess you kill the token.
Sure, and then you get to use this lose focus now. Convert that.
Sure. That makes another token.
Sure,
I guess he just makes a treasure token off of the Shambling Ghast.
that's totally reasonable.
Yep.
You know, just keep up with your mana.
Yep. Because
Yep.
actually, I think that was kind of I think that was that part of like when Pfohl was testing which version of this deck he wanted to play. He did say didn't want to play the Wildfires, but didn't want the like all in and like side of the green black version. So like having that like mid range version of like with the Ghast acting as kind of your Wildfire card because it can just ramp you.
Sure.
Is pretty good here as well, I think.
And also being 1 mana and being able to kill another X1 when it dies
Correct.
is huge against other decks like the Kuldotha red decks and the Mono Blue Fairy decks. Gives you an access to at least have something to do on that first turn rather than just play a tap land.
And he is going hard on these Eviscerator's Insights.
Yeah, we've seen all of them. No, there's one more. There's a full 4 in this list.
Yep.
So we've
There's
seen
8. There's 8 of the
3.
draws. 8 of the draw twos.
Or no, at least 2. No, 3 because we flashed back one of them. Okay, we've seen 3 so far. I believe we have finally unlocked from Brainstorm. I believe we've
I
drawn
believe so.
drawn the rest of the lands off the top of the library now. But we've
As
worked
he
our
now- as he
worked
now
our
wants to
way.
show full.
We've worked our way through the spawns though.
Yeah,
So
which is
the
pretty good.
Tellurian Terror is able to get in.
Get a nice chunk for 5 there. Malevolent Rumble.
The Malevolent Rumble.
I
The
do-
Malevolent Rumble.
Malevolent Rumble.
This is true. Looks like Devin's thinking about this one. All right, it's going to resolve. We're going to look at 4 cards.
Broodscale, Colony Garden,
Witness.
Evolution Witness, and Tameo Safekeeping.
What do we like here? The
I actually,
Witness
I
versus
kind of
the
like.
Broodscale.
I kind of like the. I'm interested. I can see either going either way on the Broodscale or the Witness.
Sure.
Depends on how you think the game's going to play. I mean, he's got the double statistically, so you might as well go ahead and take the Broodscale here. But does he have an outlet for it? That's the question.
Right. I don't know if that's oh, there might be a makeshift munitions in there.
Because if not, Devin can just put chump blockers into play for. Oh, there is the makeshift
There's a
munition.
makeshift munitions, and Devin is
Oh.
just sitting on islands.
Okay, well, Devin didn't have an answer for that. That's not
All
good
right.
for him.
So Michael can end the turn as soon as next turn, depending on
what Devin has.
Devin has here.
I can't. His
It's just
land.
lands. Maybe he's now just now unbrainstorm locked. We might be one to go back and double check on
I think
that.
Pfohl is probably just going to snap off, try to go for it because he's got the double glee.
Yeah, and he's got a safekeeping as well
Yeah,
here.
so he's pretty locked up in this one. Again, he is just
Yeah,
in this
just
comfort.
making-
He's just in his comfort zone when he's in these green black decks.
Yep.
Like these are just
All right.
where he thrives.
So here's the Broodscale. Broodscale's gonna resolve. Devin's doing his putting his gamer face on.
I don't think he's played.
Sadistically,
I don't think he's played Pauper
That's
for, like for a minimum like 2 years, and he just like decides this week, oh, I'm gonna play.
Devin plays our
Or
monthly.
no,
Swimmers.
I'm talking about Pfohl.
Oh, Pfohl. Oh,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. And just crushes the tournament.
crush
That's
it.
going to be game 1, going to Michael Pfohl.
Yep.
Able to get the combo through with a bit of a flooded out draw for Mr.
Yeah,
Devin
once
Northcutt.
we saw that brainstorm hit the 3 lands, I think that was kind of the nail in the coffin.
That's true. Let's look through these sideboards here. Devin's sideboard looking like 4 Cast into the Fire, 1 Gorilla Shaman, 3 Hydroblast, 4 Pyroblast, 1 Red Elemental Blast, and 2 Relic of Progenitus. What do you like, if anything?
I don't know that I really want anything here. I'll be honest. I don't think
No,
so.
nothing at all.
No, I don't think so.
I think there's potentially a spot where maybe you bring in 1 or 2 Hydroblast if you expect some red or Pyroblast from the
I
opponent.
just
But
don't think so. I don't
Okay.
think it's worth a card.
do you think it's
You could
worth
turn. I guess you could. I think you'd just be better off to play like Spell Pierce and Dispel because they actually stop like the early turns with things that matter. Like
For
you
sure.
don't want to get let Pfohl get ahead of you.
Okay.
And then on full side, he's got 4 Breath Weapon, the 1 Pyroblast, 2 Red Elemental Blast, 4 Snuff Out, and 4 Weather the Storm. The only thing I really see here is just, like he could bring in his Red Elemental Blast to counter like these like Terrors and Mystics and counter his own counter spells. He can also bring in Snuff Out if he's afraid of like just losing to like Terrors.
For sure.
But I think he's probably just going to bring in the Pyroblast and wants to keep his deck nice and lean.
Okay.
I would imagine.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Gives you some agency on the stack, and that's definitely something where
It looks like
where
he has
Devin can
looks
pull
like
ahead.
looks like that was 7 cards that he has boarded out. Yep, he has boarded exactly what I just said.
All right.
He's boarded the 4 Snuff Out
Snuff Outs
and the
red
Blasts.
blasts. Let's go.
Yep.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah, he's
Calling it like it is.
Yep. I can see some things like the Shambling Gas going away. They're just not the greatest thing here.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the first thing I think I would move to cut. Probably the Evolution Witness, probably is the second one.
How much of either of these decks have you played?
I have played some of the Blue-Red Terror deck as well. I've not played any of I've played like some pickup games with like the Broodscale deck. Not particularly this version of it, but I know Cameron and I played some games the other night where I was playing the green-black version. He was playing like Red-Black Madness or something.
For sure.
But I have played some of the Terror deck. It functions very similarly to a lot of the other decks like that in that guild of things like that. Like the Blue-Black Terror, I played Blue-Black Terror, which is very similar. And then, which I actually think Blue-Black Terror would be very good into this matchup. And then I've played like the Jeskai Ephemerate deck, which is kind of the same thing as well. It's a Murmuring Mystic deck.
And often a Scred deck.
Yeah, it's a Scry deck as well.
Yeah. No, I have played a lot of the mono blue Terror. I haven't played a lot of the Terror plus another color decks. We saw a decent amount of blue red today. We've seen a decent amount of blue black in the leagues and online and in person, honestly, over the last couple years in reasonable numbers. I'm a little bit more of a fan of the mono blue myself. What? Okay.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Word. All right. All right, we are getting shuffled up. Players are presenting here for our second game of our semifinals. If we get any updates from the other table, it'd be if we get any updates from the other table, we'll be sure to let you know.
Man, you made a Kyle upset. He called you out.
That's all right. We're getting a little loose as we wind down.
Yeah.
It's been a long day. We've been on and off, in and out of the booth all day long.
Man, just wait till we get to the finals. And
the finals.
All three of us.
Yeah. All three of us will be in the booth for the finals. So
I'm sure we'll cut up quite a bit.
yeah, don't worry. I have a slide ready to go for that too. So with all three nameplates. But here we go. We are underway. Devin is going to start us off with a preordain after a tap land on turn 1. We're going to play a mountain. We're going to play a relic. We got a relic right off the bat to combat any of these flashback spells. Evolution Witness, getting things back from the bin with Malevolent Rumble. Might also be a case of...
Interesting that Devin brought that in.
It might also be a case where it's just a redraw and occasionally we'll tag some stuff out in the bin.
The problem is it also hits your own graveyard, which I'm not a huge fan of in my Terror deck.
It's true. Well, we'll see. If Devin is trying to take the game long, he might be okay with this. Also, Malevolent Rumble binning 2 Duresses and a Snuff Out.
That's pretty big game,
That's
actually,
very big
for
game.
Devin. Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets to look for like a removal spell or something here. He also did bring in his blasts. Interesting. I'd love to pick his brain after this match.
For sure. We're gonna preordain, put 1 top, 1 bottom, play an island. Yeah, sitting on that Hydra Blast. It looks like.
Let's see what Pfohl does for the turn here. Sure, he's got I got some options. I see a Glee in the hand.
I think another Rumble.
Probably just fire off another Rumble then, if that's the case.
Sure.
Yeah. Man, what a card! That card is
Malevolent
so good.
Rumble is really sick.
That card is very sick.
Format All-Star. I mean, it's seen a bunch of play in Modern in a handful of what some people will consider the best deck. All right, so we picked up. We knew about the Glee also. We picked it up off the Rumble last turn. So the Glee and Broodscale both in hand now.
Turns out Jonathan got game 1 against the Blue Fae deck.
Awesome. Thank you, J-Ho. All right, Devin's going to untap here. Got a grip full of spells. I think we got 1 land, 5 spells here. Got a lot to do.
I see a counterspell in the grip. He just passed. He does not have another land.
No other land. Okay.
That's not good news. If he's not able to double up or triple up on interaction on a turn, that's probably what might do him in.
Especially if you're not filling up your yard. Had the option to run out Augur Bolas and chose not to.
He did. I think he just wants to hold up because this is a turn where Pfohl has enough mana to do something kind of threatening.
It's true.
So he just may not want to leave down his guard if he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Which
and maybe doesn't
giving Pfohl another turn to cast another Malevolent Rumble is just kind of brutal.
Just continuing to convert.
He just doesn't want. He's gonna have to counterspell the cards on the actual win conditions themselves.
Right, and now there's a second Broodscale. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At this point, he's just gonna crack the
now
relic.
we're just gonna crack the
There's
relic.
so much in the graveyard. He's just gonna crack the relic here. Oh, so he doesn't have to play on counterspell now because Devin did not leave open counterspell mana.
This is true. So we're in a Deadly Dispute now.
Yeah.
Plenty of spawns to play around a Spell Pierce or something like that. Draw 2. This may have been a I don't know if Devin's trying to hold up 2 red removal spells here.
I know he's got a Lightning Bolt.
Right.
I don't know if he's got the Scred.
I think they're trying to figure out when exactly this relic is happening. Did Devin?
I think they figured it out.
All right, cool.
Man, Devin just not finding another land again.
Devin just passes back.
It's not looking great for him. Say Pfohl's just kind of able to do whatever he wants on the given turn. I think the worst he has to fight through this on a turn is counterspell plus a Lightning Bolt.
Here's the Chrysalis.
He cannot Red Blast that. That does not work. Somebody would like to go stop them. That does not work.
Judge.
Yeah, so turns out when you have devoid cards, they as Devin has put his head down on the table, the devoid cards are not colored, so you cannot hydroblast or you can hydroblast it. It doesn't do anything.
All right, Garrison's on the scene.
Beautiful. We love that. You can counterspell it instead. How about that?
Yeah, that works.
You can, and once it's on the table, you can target it with that pyro or the hydroblast. It will do nothing.
Yes, but it will do nothing, as opposed to the elemental blasts,
Which have to have a thing.
yes, because the pyro and hydro are targeted if it's this. Yes. Very, very strange things that can happen. It's like fatal push can target if it's revolt, then you get to do the thing.
Because you can counter target spell if it's red.
Right, if it's red. So yeah,
you can target. It's a legal target.
So unfortunately, this is going to the Garrison's going to uphold this play.
I mean, they're in top 8 for over 1K.
They are. They're playing for big stakes here. They got money on the line. There's a trophy on the line. So the Hydroblast, it's going to continue. So if it was Blue Blast, then we would be walking this back. But
Correct.
Unfortunately for Devin, the Hydroblast is not gonna happen, and the Chrysalis is gonna be here.
It's been a long day.
It's been a very long day. Like, Devin is no rookie. It's very easy to, if you don't play a ton of Pauper, it's very easy to miss that the Chrysalis is devoid and is not, in fact, a red spell.
Correct.
So we're going to continue on from here. Devin has at least found 4th land, and maybe we'll be able to put something together here. We're going to start by sacrificing a spawn, trigger the Chrysalis.
There's the Broodscale.
Yep, here's the Broodscale.
Do attack for 2.
Well, 3.
Oh, sorry, it's a counter.
Got a counter, yep.
It's hard to see.
It is. Yeah. Looks like Devin is fetching.
Fine with that perilous landscape. Crack that.
So what has to happen for Devin to come back into this game here?
I will be honest with you. I don't know that there is a way.
Oh, no.
I don't
Not one
know.
of these again.
I don't know that. I mean, I think he's so far behind on the board. Like he can't catch up with even a Scred doesn't kill this Chrysalis now. Like, he literally doesn't have a removal spell for this thing that kills it. So I don't know that there is a way, because he also cracked his relic, so he can't even put a terror in play. So yeah, it's looking pretty rough for Devin. Devin's gonna have to fight really, really, really hard here.
This is true.
It would have to be some series of, he has like triple interaction on a turn, where Michael goes for like a combo, and then he like follows it up with like a hopefully like a Murmuring Mystic plus the tokens. Like, that would have to be what I would think it would be. That's pretty
such a long shot.
way off.
Especially having to spend so much mana just to get yourself so you have enough mana to even do all that. You're just spending so much time still developing while your opponent has all these resources already in play.
Correct.
Yeah. No, this is looking good for Michael.
We'll adapt the Broodscale. Fire off a. You can't. Oh, you can do that. Yeah, you can do the dispute.
We can deadly dispute.
That's fine.
Okay.
What they don't know is that it's an Eldrazi, and you technically get a counter on that Chrysalis if Michael does not catch that. So whenever you sacrifice an Eldrazi.
Yes.
So
so that Chrysalis should technically be one higher. That unfortunately is not something that we can jump in, though.
Yeah, Devin loves some flashy cardboard. He in all formats. It does not matter what the format is. Devin loves some flashy cardboard.
This is true.
And he plays all the formats, so he has lots of flashy cardboard.
Yes, he does. Hell yeah! Thanks for the follow, Steven. Looks like Pfohl's gonna get in here for 4. Devin's gonna go down to 13.
The Colony Garden from Pfohl.
Let's make a plant. I think Derek Smith had the best plant tokens. The Ivysaurs.
I actually had an Ivysaur token from RK Post that I handed to Holden today.
Ooh.
And Derek's like, I didn't know you ever had that. I was like, yeah,
Like
I've had
an
it for
actual plant token,
Yeah.
but just as an
It's an
Ivysaur, it's an RK post.
Yep.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
And Derek's like, I never knew you had that. Yep, I've had it for a while.
Yeah. It's been here, man.
It's been a while. I don't put plant tokens into play very much anymore.
All right, we're gonna resolve this preordain. Play tap land here for Devin.
Actually, I gotta give it to your buddy Elliot. When I do put plant tokens into play, I put Elliot into play.
Yes. Of course, referencing Elliot Raff, another well-known judge, and someone who got to play his first Pro Tour. That was also my first Pro Tour.
It's true.
Yeah, it was pretty sick. He beat me in round 12 of that RC to
Q.
Q, and his friends popped off and almost busted my eardrums. But it was awesome.
Yeah, the old Tandy got very excited.
Yes, he was very excited. All right, let's see. We exchange a scred for a Broodscale here. Michael has a lot of options in hand still.
And this crystal is just growing bigger and bigger and bigger.
And we're getting close to the spot. Looks like Michael may have missed a trigger on the Chrysalis.
There's a Pyroblast for the counterspell there for the Broodscale.
Yep.
And there's the Glee, but do we have that makes the Chrysalis infinitely big?
It does make the Chrysalis
That's it.
infinitely big, and that will be it. Michael Pfohl will be moving on to the finals, and had the Tameo safekeeping as backup.
Man,
moving on to the finals.
what a sick man, or sick
Absolutely
tag,
crushing it.
Yeah, Pfohl's been on a heater today.
Absolutely heater. Absolutely crushing it. Congratulations to Michael. Condolences to Devin. A very sick run, making the top 4 of this prestigious event.
Prestigious Pauper event.
Prestigious Pauper event for the Middle Tennessee area.
Indeed.
But yeah, no, a great run with Blue Red Terror. Still a great deck to choose.
Yep.
I feel like it's one of these decks that you kind of choose, like, that ends up getting chosen a lot for these like in-person events. I feel like the online metagame can kind of get a little I don't know, like they kind of eat themselves and kind of I don't know, it warps around itself very quickly.
Because a lot of the people are consistently playing them over and over and over again. They all know what other people play.
Exactly.
So yeah.
So like for sometimes based on the scheduling of the event, there's some bias towards playing like Coldotha Red, for instance, because you can get games done very quickly, and you want to try. And maybe you're an MTGO grinder and you're double queuing in another challenge too. So like there are a lot of other factors where when you get into person, like playing in person in like what is generally a wider field of a range of a metagame and like a large-ish local event like this, you can have people that just show up with the deck they've been playing for a while.
Yeah.
You know, like this Blue-Red Terror deck is a good example of that. Like the Madness decks, that the Black-White Blade list, like these are, I think, great examples of decks that are good and can still win games. I mean, Austin 6-0'd the Swiss with Black-White Blade. Yeah. You know, like you can still win with these decks. They're full of very good cards and interactions. You don't just have to stick to like the big 5 of like Coldotha, Affinity, Broodscale, and then like, I don't know, Terror, and I guess Gruul has kind of fallen off a little bit. Yeah, Fae and Terror and things like that. So yeah, great to see. You love to see it.
We had a few different people show up with the Blue Red Terror deck today. Devin being the highest placing individual with it, had a good run with it.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it looks like Mr. Michael Pfohl has entered the room, and we will be bringing you his winner's interview.
We will be. Very excited to send it over to Cameron and Pfohl in just a moment.
Yeah, it's on. You make that. Oh, okay.
Oh,
sorry,
we're on.
I was staring at that one. My
No,
bad.
we're on.
I am joined with Michael Pfohl, who just won last round with Jun Broodscale. You're kind of on the light splash of red though, just for
Chrysalis in the main, and then 4 breath weapon, 3 blasts in the side,
and the makeshift munitions, correct?
and the makeshift munitions in the main. Yes.
Yep. Awesome.
Which
awesome.
could just as easily be another Nightblade or
So you
anything
ditched
else.
the Wildfire package. What was the thought process going into that?
I think I'm a big fan of Wildfire in other decks.
Okay.
I think that Broodscale is already a deck that is very susceptible to hate, and opening yourself up to even more intense hate by playing the bridges.
Everybody's after them already.
Exactly.
Yep,
It's
okay.
just like not somewhere that I wanted to be. And like I said before, I kind of wanted to be closer to Golgari Broodscale, just like turbo comboing.
That's
the
where
combo,
that's where you're at home.
exactly.
It's
Yeah.
Golgari combo
and,
decks.
And the Golgari version is just like as efficient as you can be with regards to going for the combo, which is, in my opinion, one of the most powerful things you can be doing in the format.
And I like that with your, instead of the Wildfires, you're just on 8 Deadly Dispute effects.
Oh, yeah.
4 Deadly Disputes and 4 Eviscerators in sight. And we've been seeing that on your coverage matches.
Oh, yeah.
You have been digging and digging and digging for the combo, and it's been paying off really well.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, every time I flash back an Eviscerator's Insight, I look at my opponent and I realize, like, oh, I have 4 more cards than you in hand somehow. And I, at that point, have to make that mental shift of, oh, I'm not playing to try and get my resources not 1-for-1'd. Now I'm actively trying to get them to just 1-for-1 me because they will lose that battle.
And it looks like across the bracket from you in the finals, you'll either be playing against Mono Blue Faeries or Jund Wildfires.
Yes.
Which one of those are you hoping to see out of the 2?
I think Mono Blue Fairies. I already played against the the Wildfires pilot, and we ended up in a tie.
Was that Mr. Matt Carthel?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, that was one of my ties. Actually, both of my ties for the day have been against
Hey, you can't draw this time.
Wildfires. I can't draw this time, but I would very much like to get dinner. So I hope it's Mono Blue Fairies.
The
Also,
house never closes.
that's true. That's true. But yeah, I also just hope that I hope it's Mono Blue Fairies because I specifically made some concessions on my side, not playing Oof, so that I could fit the blasts, because I think that is just like an axis that is maybe not necessarily expected for you to interact on all the time, because it is such a
countering back.
light red splash that it's super potent.
Yeah, nice. Well, congratulations. I can't wait to see the game in the finals, man.
Yeah.
Big congrats. And just awesome that you don't play a ton of Pauper.
No,
but
yeah.
you are a black-green combo machine.
I am.
So, congrats, man.
Thank you very much.
Shout out to Secret Stuff, buddy.
Hell yeah.
We'll throw it back over to coverage.
Michael's secret stuff, huh? You love to see it. Thank you, Michael. Congratulations. Thank you, Cameron. We were able to move Karl and Jonathan's match over to the feature match. They just were about to get started on game 3. We caught them just in time. So let's quickly go over their matchup while they're resolving mulligans here. We've got Jonathan Turner on the left with Jund Wildfires and Karl Schroeder on the right with Mono Blue Fairies. We've seen both of these players on coverage before. Jonathan in the first round and Karl last round against Austin in the quarterfinals.
That's correct.
So what do we expect here? We're already post-board. Faeries has access to, looks like, maybe not a ton for the matchup.
Maybe
Some
just the
blue blast
the
potentially.
blue blast I think are the best thing here. I mean, you could also go and you could dip into the like Relic of Progenitus too, because it is also a blood fountain deck.
This is true. This is true.
But I think
sideboard-
some of the like sideboard options out of the Jund Wildfires deck probably puts it in a pretty good position.
Okay. Beautiful.
It's just a pile of removal spells, really good ways to like interact with like the fairies in like the Nyxborn Hydra, Writhing Chrysalis, the Familiar. So it's just like your main deck threats are all very good against them.
For sure. We're getting a request to have our volume turned up, so we'll get that fixed in just a second as Karl's going to run out a Spell Stutter Sprite here and untap. Looks like Jonathan has developed an Ichor Wellspring. Cool. Y'all let us know if the volume is better. We're going to Ninja in Ninja the Deep Hours. It's going to hit. We're going to draw a card. Jonathan is going to fetch with the Landscape. Cool. All right. Jonathan, lots of spells to choose from.
True.
Looks like we've got a Chrysalis.
Start ourselves a
Let's
Chrysalis
run this
here.
Chrysalis out. On 1 mana, I like this. Let's hope. I think Karl. I think just now Karl's realizing that he cannot Hydroblast this.
Correct. It is devoid.
It is devoid.
Trust me, I will be the first to admit that is a very annoying.
It is an annoying interaction. It is for sure. So Chrysalis is here, and we've got a couple spawns.
I think that card would be so much less oppressive if it were
was-
blue blastable.
If it were not, yes.
If it were literally blue blastable, I think that card would
Exactly.
almost not see nearly as much play as it does. It would still be very good.
Yes.
But like the blue decks would not be nearly as upset to see it as they are.
No. Karl going for
Otherwise.
an aggressive snap on the Chrysalis, gonna attack in, get a chump block from the spawn token.
I think he just wants to give himself as much time as possible.
absolutely here. It also opens up a spot for the Chrysalis to potentially get counterspelled.
Another
Carl's
thing-
looking at a counterspell in
Another
his
thing,
hand.
another thing Jonathan could do this turn is actually double up on the Krark Clan Shamans if he really wanted to get rid of these this Ninja of the Deep Hour.
This is true.
We get a couple of spawn tokens out of this Writhing Chrysalis.
We'll see. It looks like Jonathan has. We have a mountain, and we're gonna
Trevor-
run out the Krark Clan Shaman.
He's gonna
and
blast
that's
it.
gonna get Hydro Blasted.
Yep, that's
All right.
he wants to keep this Ninja in play pretty badly.
Oh, absolutely.
But these spawns are making it really difficult for this thing to connect.
Yeah, so we'll see. Jonathan we can play this song and dance for a little while here. Carl's
Correct.
gonna run out this relic. Just tap it for now. Pop it for a card later on. We'll see if it's relevant. If Jonathan's playing any blood fountains, we got 2.
Jonathan
blood
just
fountains.
picked up a breath weapon, which is a huge game here.
Excellent. It will get rid of those spawns, but more importantly, we'll clear that ninja.
This is game 3.
This is game 3.
It's game 3. I think that answers your question.
That answers your question, me. All right, we got a deadly dispute on the Ichor Wellspring. Trigger the Ichor Wellspring. Let's see if Karl wants to respond to this. All right, draw is going to resolve. Looks like deadly dispute is going to resolve. We've got a treasure. There's Cameron just tilting away here.
And Jonathan's got another Chrysalis in his hand if he wants to use that in the near future. Card is such a problem for Faeries. It's really bad for them.
It really is. I mean, that's why we see the introduction of things like the spell snare, the
Snare Master Sprite.
and things like bind the monster in the board. However, Karl's not running anything like that. Karl is on the mutagenic growths version, and all counter spells and relics in the board for the most part.
He's just gotta he's gotta be able to counterspell. Basically, that's the card he has to counterspell. Like he cannot be almost very, very difficult for him to win the game if one of those sticks on the table.
It looks like this one is going to stick, and Karl's going to run out a spell stutter sprite. You don't have 3 other fairies at the moment, unfortunately, so that Writhing Chrysalis has stuck.
I think this is just an end of. Well, it's not even an end of
I think
turn.
this is end of turn.
I thought it was 2.
We're
Is he
untap.
gonna fire off a
think
breath
Karl-
weapon here? He
He
might fire off a
may
breath
fire
weapon.
off the breath weapon here.
He is going to. Well, there's a dispel. I think in. There's no dispels
No,
actually.
there's 2 ninjas
There's
of
no
one
I forgot
mind and a
there's no-
hacker.
I forgot there's no dispels in.
Oh yes, yeah. There's also no dispels here. Just a couple of spell pierce alongside the counter spells.
Correct.
So we're gonna sack the relic, see what we can find. Also, I believe 1 spawn was sacrificed.
Yep.
Yes.
That's up to Jonathan to remember that though. Yeah.
Yes. Looks like you just let the spawn die. Actually, that's probably smart. So you make sure. Well, I mean, you could float the mana and still play around spell pierce there, and get your Chrysalis a little bigger.
Yep.
But likely to not be of too much consequence, as
Alright, we
this
got a
Chrysalis
Fairy
is quite
Seer-
big here.
Fairy Seer hit the table.
We're gonna put Land Hacker on the bottom. We're gonna run out one of these hackers, or one of these ninjas. There's 2 other ninjas. So ninja of one mind,
Yep.
I
And
believe.
this Chrysalis is still becoming a problem. It's just a actual brick wall.
It just blocks everything, man.
It blocks everything.
Hey, how about
and
another one?
another one.
Another one. How about another one?
Get
Oh,
in,
man.
get in the red zone. Absolutely. This is your turn. Your time to turn the corner.
Oh, absolutely. Karl's gonna fall down to 17.
So if he fires off another Krark Clan, he does fire
Yep.
off a Krark Clan. It's
All
pretty
right.
good here too, because it can just kill this ninja if he needs it to.
He does take
It
care
also
of the 2-1.
it also beats up on the another ninja. That should another ninja come into play too.
Karl's gonna cash in that of one mind for a single mana. It's a single mana if you have a human and a non-human.
Which he
Otherwise, it's a divination.
Which he does have a fairy in the ninja.
We got Fairy Miscreant and a passing of the turn. End step, we're gonna Eviscerator's
Eviscerator's
Insight.
Insight.
One of these.
Correct.
Trigger Chrysalises.
Correct.
Jonathan knows what's up.
That's right.
Grow both of these. Draw a couple new ones, and we're gonna untap. And these spaghetti monsters are just going to be too much for Karl's board to handle, like basically already.
Yeah, I think this is probably the game.
Got a Lembus.
There's a Gal
I see
Blast
Gal
on the
Blast.
top.
Yeah, I think you want that. I think
I think so.
that feels
There's
pretty good.
There's a breath weapon and just clear the way, and you can just like start just chunking in with
Sure.
damage. Like, this might be next turn. He might just be dead next turn.
It's true. It looks like Karl's gonna take the full hit, go down to 10 here on tap. Let's see if Karl can
I think
do
Karl's
anything.
on blocking duty this next turn.
I've got another relic. No counter spells to be seen.
Whoa.
Full swing.
I wonder if Jonathan goes for a breath weapon here, or if he just throws the Kark. He does throw the Kark
I like this block here. Make sure you're denying the card, and if they want a ninja, then you can go for some things.
That's true. You can.
Ninja, pick up the seer.
Sure.
Sure.
He can sack for 2 damage if he really wanted to. Which I think he just wants to
Alright,
pump.
sacrifice
pump
here.
Pump the Chrysalis, and he can sack both these artifacts, and one will go back in the deck. The Limbus, and you get to kill both of the ninjas.
And you do this by holding priority with the Karkland
Correct.
Shaman, because if you let one resolve, then your Karkland Shaman will die.
And for all our fellow Moto folk out there, just
Yes.
hold that control button.
Hold that control button.
I had to watch, or I had to listen to a story. I was told a story by Jay where he had brand new to Magic Online, and he was playing Affinity and did not understand how to hold priority. And he went to try to like wrath a huge board of stuff and wrath all X1s.
That is a tilt.
It is a tilt.
That'll kind of get you off Magic Online if you're not if you're not willing to.
It's a cruel thing to start. You just got to give it some time.
This is true. All right, Karl is.
Second ninja.
I think this is in end of combat step.
This is end of combat.
End of combat step. Getting another ninja into your hand.
No, this is still before damage.
Oh, this
actually.
is still before damage.
Correct. Ooh.
Oh.
Very nice.
Okay.
I
Now are we?
know that it's
now
good. I don't know if it's quite good enough. I'm going to show you the
cast
the two
down and
removal
Gal
spells.
Blast.
Show you the 2 removal spells, and then clean up the game next turn with. It doesn't. Really
we'll do it
matter.
we'll do it this way.
Yeah, just clean up the game next turn because you just got these 2 gigantic dudes to put him to 1.
Okay,
Or
here's a
he's
fairy
gonna,
seer.
that fairy seer is on blocking duty.
Yes, if it even gets to block.
I don't know, well, depending on what Jonathan's hand is, it probably doesn't. It will currently.
So we need 1 point of damage.
We need 1 extra point of damage across. What is this?
This
Cycle
is
it,
a
twist
cycle.
Gatescape.
Time to
with
attack.
both of our Chrysalis.
Karl's gonna take it.
there's-
Karl's not a coward.
There's a
Karl's going to 1.
there's a cast down too.
There is a cast down. Here's the Krarkland Shaman.
He's giving himself the maximum amount of opportunities to still get back in the game.
This is true, but is looking quite dire.
It is looking grim.
Oh, that's what happened.
Yeah,
Karl let
still-
the
still-
first
still-
Krarkland
still
trigger
before damage. Still
let
before
the
damage.
first Krarkland trigger resolve and then ninja'd.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he did it for 2 to kill all of the ones.
Right. So you swap out the X1
Yeah,
for
before
the
the second
2/2
one resolves,
and then let the second one resolve.
Ah,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
We often just kind
Cameron,
of
yeah.
we often kind of shortcut through this stuff.
This is true. And
there's
Karl
some
shows the
tricks when-
hand, can't put enough stuff in play, and Jonathan Turner will be your other finalist.
All right, guess
Our
what?
other finalist here.
It's a Jund on Jund.
It is a
finals.
Jund on Jund world. Chrysalis enjoyers unite.
Chrysalis really proven it's how good it is in this room today.
It's true. It's true.
Every match it's been available. It is dominated.
It is a very, very strong card. It's proven its place here in the format, and we're excited to show y'all this the Junder Dome, if you will.
That was good. This is the Junder Dome.
Wait, that's Karl's deck list. Awesome. Well, we'll pop Jonathan in here for a quick minute, I suppose, and then we'll get the finals ready for you after. And the finals will feature all 3 of us. So
That's right.
Cameron's gonna go fetch Jonathan, and we'll chat with him for a minute, and we'll go from there. The finals will still be best of 3, Jammaries. No fancy extra best of 5. We're at the selfishly we're at the point of the tournament where, all right, let's do the tournament, celebrate, and then go get some dinner.
I think by the time we're out of here, dinner is They're really needed.
Yes, for sure.
Very
Yeah, because
needed.
we have some amount of cleanup. I got to pack all these lights away and all this nonsense. It should be pretty quick. Many hands make light work, but it's all a labor of love because we love doing it. Maybe we can show a little love to our friends over at Game Night real quick.
That's right.
Yeah. Over at Game Night Tennessee, this is where we've been all day long. Come down here, down in Columbia, Tennessee. Your one-stop shop for Magic, Lorcana, Pokemon, Warhammer, and more. Anything nerd, anything game, anything fun, you can find it here at Game Night. They're big on the community here, and you can find them online at GameNightTN.com and GameNightTN on all major social platforms. We love hanging out here. The owner, Steven, and the rest of his crew, shout out to Kyle and everyone here. They're absolute blast.
Yep. Love coming here when I get the opportunity.
Absolutely. And we'll give another shout out to our podcast, the Common Ground MTG Pauper podcast. Myself, James, and Cameron have been rotating through coverage and working behind the scenes all day long. And we're excited we'll talk about this event on the podcast this week for sure. So you can expect a full, maybe some behind the scenes story, full recap, all of that jazz we'll also chat about. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. So
Beautiful.
it looks like we've got Jonathan in the studio with us now, and we'll hop on over with him and Cameron.
Jonathan,
Hi, Cameron,
congrats.
yes,
What's
you.
up, buddy?
Thank you.
You are, what do we call you? Like, we refer to you as one of our Alabama folks.
Yes.
Because you'll come to our Pauper locals here in Tennessee, and you and some other friends make the trip from Alabama. So we appreciate that long trek.
Thank you.
And really, you putting up a really good showing today. So awesome. Have
Yeah.
you been on Jun Wildfires for a little bit then, or
No.
how'd you pick it up then?
I picked it up because I saw it. I saw it doing well at a Brazilian tournament on the MTG Top 8. I'm sort of always looking around, and it seemed like a deck that could grind really hard, was pretty well positioned against what I expected to be a lot of mono blue players, and was slightly favored in the Grixis grind, and had the removal to deal with. Basking Broodscale, which is basically all you can ask for. Plus a main board, Pulse of Marasa.
Just cross your fingers against the fast decks.
Exactly.
Good Delta,
You had mainboard Toxic Analysis, mainboard Pulse of Marasa to try to sneak in some a little bit life gain, get your Chrysalises set up.
The deck just fights on a lot of different axes. It's such a sick deck. I played some games with it. It's been a blast playing it. It looks like you're piloting it well and to great success. You're playing Pfohl in the finals. They'll be on the Jun Broodscale. Have you had much of that experience before?
Yes. So I had me and this person. No, it was somebody else. I played against Jun Broodscale earlier in the tournament. Game 1 felt great for me. Game 2 was a little sticky. I made some misplays in Game 2 that I didn't necessarily need to make because I thought that we were going to turns very soon.
Okay.
And so I sacked my whole board to Karkland Shaman to wipe everything. And I said, I can survive for 2 turns.
You're
on
playing
3.
for the draw.
Yeah, I'm playing for the draw because I was a game up.
Yep.
And then what ended up happening was our judge came over and reminded both me and the other player that we had 10 minutes extension because we had been deck checked. So I'd made some misplays there. I would love to. I think I still could have taken that game if I had just been a little bit more patient and been aware of my
You're
time.
here in the finals now, though. That's all you can ask for.
It's true,
right?
I've had a great day. I was against Jund in any manner for many years. I played Modern Jund. And at the worst time you could be playing Modern Jund. I mean, I was playing against Okos. I was Junding.
So post Deathrite Shaman.
Yeah, Deathrite Shaman's gone. Oko's on the field. You're getting -1 to everywhere. It was and I was really I was really upset. But I'm happy to be on it today.
Well, hell yeah! Congrats, man.
Thank you.
Can't wait to watch finals. Throw it back over to y'all.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cameron. Thank you, and congratulations to Jonathan, our second finalist for the event. And we've got some finals to get set up for you. So we're gonna take a quick little break. But when we come back, the match for the trophy, this trophy, and all 3 of us in the booth. So we have some things to set up, and then we'll get to bring this match to you. Don't go away. We'll be right back.